They voted to end the fraud, and that's exactly what we're seeing in this administration.
Speaking of the younger generation, Mike Lindell and one of the other guys, Steve Bannon, the one and only Steve Bannon. We're going to be thrown to the stage here in just a minute. But yesterday, Steve Bannon had an opportunity to speak with the new federal state of China. We've got that interview for you right now.
Happy Friday first. And first, thank you for having us at the international dinner. That was an amazing event. Thank you so much. So my first question is regarding that event.
I also want to say, Forrest, that you are amazing at the international dinner. New federal state of China should understand. Forrest, the Prime Minister, future Prime Minister Nigel Farage, only took a few questions. Forrest asked a brilliant question about the what Nigel Farage would do as Prime Minister vis-a-vis the Chinese Communist Party, and particularly, Forrest, as you said, so much of the establishment of Great Britain has already sold out to the Chinese Communist Party. So I thought it was a fascinating question, a great answer. And Forrest, it was the most important question asked the entire night. So you really represent a new federal state well, and I'm just so honored that you came.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you for the good word. Okay, so my first question will relate to that event because I spoke with representatives from Korea and from Brazil, right? Both of them actually shared concerns about CCP's influence and their lawfare happening in their country. So what was your impression? And also, what's the common attitude, and also the trend you observe regarding the effort to counter the CCP?
It's very evident, and I think that you did a great job of uniting people there about the CCP, that both in Brazil, where Bolsonaro now has been indicted and has up to potentially 40 years in prison, and in South Korea, where we're seeing a coup driven by the CCP. In both of those situations, it's the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party's infiltration into Brazil has just been extraordinary. They want to control the Amazon. They want to control the natural resources of Brazil. It's been, quite frankly, extraordinary. You highlighted that. All the Bolsonaro people there, including Eduardo Bolsonaro, 100% agreed with you. And, of course, the South Korean situation with President Yoon is 100% a CC-backed coup d'etat. So we're seeing in two of the most important countries in the world, and particularly, far as you know, two of America's most important allies, Brazil being our most important ally in South America, and South Korea with Japan being our most important ally in East Asia. It's extraordinary, and I hope that President Trump and his team, Marco Rubio, are getting more focus on both these, that the black hand of the Chinese Communist Party is in back of both of them.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Eva.
So, hi, Steve. My second question, because you just mentioned, CCP and their proxies are weaponizing the law to come after those people representing by the deplorables. So yesterday we witnessed the most exciting event, which is the director of FBI finally being confirmed by the Senate by vote 51-49. So my question to you is, we know Miles Guo has shared a lot of critical intelligence, and not just Miles Guo himself alone, a lot of whistleblowers that came from the new federal state of China, put themselves and the family in great danger, share those critical intel with law enforcement, the largest law enforcement agency in the United States, like FBI. But those intels has been ignored. Particular one that I can think of is 13579 bioweapons plan that Miles Guo gave to FBI in 2017, but they followed up, they authenticate the document, but did nothing. And then later on, we know the virus came in 2019. So my question to you, by the new leadership, what kind of implication of the new leadership in FBI under Kash Patel would impact on how the United States handling the intelligence shared with them in the past, and how this would affect moving forward in terms of what we come up with the new federal state of China will share with the United States?
I think that you're seeing both in our intelligence services and in the FBI. You both have Kash Patel, you have John Ratcliffe at CIA, you have Tulsi Gabbard at DNI. All three of these are ardent anti-CCP advocates. It's one of the reasons I think Kash Patel is head of the CIA, head of the FBI. Kash is very strong in counterintelligence, very strong in intelligence. He knows the threat of the Chinese Communist Party. I think you're going to see a totally different profile of the FBI. I think you're seeing much more aggressive. If Kash Patel had been head of the FBI in 2017, Miles Guo's information, I think, would have been actionable information or been acted on right away. So I have to see how this develops over time. I did give an interview yesterday to Voice of America, and I told Voice of America right there, I said, listen, all the infiltration that's happened in the Voice of America in the Mandarin language is going to be investigated as soon as Carrie Lake steps in. And I said, I will not give an interview to Voice of America until Carrie Lake gets in and it goes through and it puts a blowtorch to the Voice of America Mandarin language, because it's infiltrated, I think, with intelligence agents and agents of influence from the Chinese Communist Party. So the Chinese Communist Party has had a lot of infiltration into different institutions in the U.S. government. I hope that Kash Patel, and I think he will, because he's an ardent anti-CCP. John Ratcliffe, the CIA, is the same. Tulsi Gabbard at DNI is the same. Pete Hegseth over at Defense. So I think you've seen a whole new, profile. Marco Rubio is one of our biggest anti-CCP hawks. Mike Waltz at National Security Council the same way. They were selected to be the NSC advisor. So, and Senator Rubio was chosen to be the Secretary of State. I think you're seeing across the board is a very strong profile on anti-CCP activity. And I think you're going to see it from everywhere, from the FBI to the CIA to the Defense Department.
Thank you, Steve. I will let Forrest ask about Miles' case.
Okay, just very quickly, Miles is the #1 enemy of Chinese Communist Party, and this is a hero of Lao Baixing in China, but he's still at MDC, right? We know this is a political motivated frame-up, orchestrated by the weaponized justice system. So Miles was facing more than 70 legal cases. They all started with CCP, founded by CCP, and with the help of corrupted individuals and also the media narratives. So how can we, with the new FBI and the DOJ and also as the CIA and the National Intelligence, how can the NFSC collaborate with them to secure the justice and to dismantle the CCP influence and to restore the safety and the security of all the Americans?
Well, I think what you do is that Miles's case to me is totally separate. That'll work through the system. I believe strongly people start to take a new look at that. But I think new federal state ought to focus what it should be focused on, which is exposing this type of infiltration. I think your news service, what you put up on Getter every day, is amazing. I think your primary effort should be awakening the American people more and more every day to what's going on with the CCP and the CCP's infiltration into different institutions in America, whether it's cultural institutions, into our colleges, whether it's these students that unfortunately have to report back to the CCP, whether it's in technology, across the board. You guys have done such an amazing job, and Miles has been really the #1 whistleblower for our country. I think you continue that legacy, and only more positive news is going to come out of your efforts. I think people think very highly of you. You're so respected when you come down here to a big event like CPAC or these big events that you guys come to. So it's just, I think, keep doing your work every day, keep putting your news stories up on Getter, and just keep working.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I just want to add, Steve, part of us is we wanted to be the J6ers, because I know you interview J6ers. They say they want a full hearing, testimonies, and investigation. We're ready for that. We have so many receipts. We're waiting for the platform because it was weaponized before, and we put a lot of hope in this new administration, and we're hoping that would come. And we will offer American people the evidence, the facts, to understand the CCP, the harm has done in this country. So we're waiting for that. So my next question to you, I just want to check, Steve, how many minutes do we have? Because I may be jumping to the last question. Maybe I ask this question first, because it's very important. We know in the 8 years of whistleblower movement, we could not make this far without those people who sacrificed their lives every single day. I'm talking about those peoples who are actually working within the CCP government and giving us those tips. Is there any messages you want to say to them? Because they're heading there, okay? They're heading there every single day. Is there any message you want to specifically say to those folks?
Yeah, the message is very strong, is that the CCP is under tremendous economic pressure. They're getting more and more desperate, I think, every day if you look at the financial situation in China. Right now, President Trump is having direct conversations with Putin and direct conversations with the Russians. They're looking to do some sort of deal, I think, that really, works through some sort of, if not partnership, at least understanding between Russia and the United States. So the CCP is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. I think it's now time to redouble your efforts, particularly if in the government of the CCP, or if you're associated with one of the state-owned industries. More and more, I think you should be getting information out to people like New Federal State. The more information we get, the more whistleblowers there are, the more people's eyes are going to be awakened to this, to the black hand of the CCP that's everywhere. right? So from the Confucius Institutes to actually controlling Wall Street to what they're doing in Silicon Valley. So all I would say is more and more and more. And I realize that you're at risk and there's smart ways to do it, but that's why New Federal State is so vitally important, because New Federal State provides you with an outlet to be able to get it to the media right away in the United States.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As the co-founder of New Federal State of China, we really appreciate all your help and support. Everybody, look up to you and need more of your help, and you are devoted yourself to us. Thank you so much. I think it will be the last question from me is, we talked about the Russian, we talked about Brazil, right? Those are the BRICS member. We were talking about this CCP started this BRICS. They want to undermining the U.S. dollars. So what's the countermeasures that President Trump will have to address this challenge? I think
President Trump's he's got to get the balance. He's got to get the budget under control with Elon Musk and the Doge guys. He's got to get $1 trillion of cuts. We have to, I think, raise some taxes in the United States. Keep taxes cut and cut more taxes for working class and middle class people. I think he needs to install particularly the tariffs against China, right, to start driving revenue into the Treasury. We need to get our financial house in order here. And I think that's the most important thing he does. I think the BRICS nations are seeing this and saying, hey, if the United States, stabilizes inflation and stops destroying the purchasing power of the dollar, they'll be fine using the dollar as international currency. But I think it's incumbent upon us. I think President Trump's got a real action plan. I will tell you, the central banks, and particularly the Chinese Communist Party, are buying gold at record rates, and people should ask the question why. If the currency's got value, why are they continuing to buy gold? And if I was someone in China, I would very much question holding Chinese currency and not converting into debt or not doing something like that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve. Again, you want to? Yeah.
Sure. So if Steve, you still have time, I wanted to ask you this question, because we know CCP.
I've got to run because the studio is going to be used next. I want to say, sure, the New Federal State, I'm incredibly proud of you guys. When you're down here, people talk about it. People talk about going to the Getter site. Your news wire you put up is incredible. People are very excited. Couldn't be more excited. So let's just keep doing the hard work we're doing. I look forward to seeing you being on the show next week.
Thank you so much.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.